The Garden Report is powered by Prize Picks, the exclusive daily fantasy partner of the CLNS Media Network.
Hey, Brian Manning here. No Dalzell by my side from Celtics blog. Another practice edition of the Garden Report. And we're going to talk Kyrie because, of course, we're here in Boston. Game 2 tomorrow. Interesting atmosphere for Game 1. I don't know what you were expecting, what you thought of it, but it was loud. You heard the boos. You heard the heckling, the F Kyrie. All of that was there in segments. And then, as we sort of expected, it became about the finals after a certain point. What do you think of the atmosphere? Is it going to continue? Do you think it bothered him at all in Game 1 where he really struggled?
Yeah, I mean, he said something to me that actually, not to me, to us, that really stood out to me. And that was, he referenced the bottle throwing incident and how it kind of left him with a trauma response. I don't know if he said that before, but I don't think it's anything the crowd is doing now that's getting to him. I don't think it's the booing. I don't think it's the yelling. They were booing him, but it wasn't something like spectacular. It was actually exactly the same as it was during the regular season, in my opinion. I don't know that they were booing him anymore. But I do think that when he gets in this building, he has a bad feeling. Like, I don't think he has a good feeling here. And he kind of said that at the postgame. When he walks around the city, like, people respect him. He has nice interactions. He's taking selfies with people, the fans. He said it's actually a lot of mutual love. But yeah, I think when he walks into this building, he's had a share of really bad memories, and that's probably playing more of a factor than just the, like, now they're booing me when I have the ball in my hand. Like, I think that's just kind of like normal. Basketball players have usually been through that. He's used to it at this point. I do think this place has something on him. And he kind of said it after the game, too. He said, a little bit, they have my number on me here, you know, which is a funny thing to admit, but it definitely feels that way. When you see him, he's never having a good game in TD Garden. 11
losses in a row for Irving here. Here were some of his thoughts about the crowd and dealing with it today here at practice.
Engaging with fans here in Boston is always fun. Like I said last week, it's something I've turned the page over onto, but people continue to ask me about it and what I think about it, which is cool too. But yeah, this is what makes sports fun. This is what makes the stories fun. Getting a chance to go against a giant like this, whether it be just talking about the team or talking about the environment and the fans and how crazy it can get. This is what I imagine it being like, you know, getting to this stage again, earning our way to be here with my teammates, and being able to put our best foot forward, going against the best of the best. That's all you dream of. Everything else is just extracurricular.
The Celtics, there's blow-up dolls of you outside the arena. There's a lot of things going on.
What else is there?
There's some things that I probably can't get into right now.
Again, I've been able to grow over the past few years to put basketball in perspective. This is an incredible experience that I get to live out for quite a few years in my life. I'm going to learn a lot of lessons that I'm going to apply to life after this. I failed miserably while also not knowing how to compartmentalize or accept the emotions that come with failure, and also being on the successful side, didn't know how to handle that either. So the past few years have been about that growth perspective for me, and learning how to handle myself in situations and circumstances that are going to be more beneficial for me to learn now than learning it when I'm 38 years old and I'm looking back at my career and I don't even know how to celebrate that. You know, I don't expect to be celebrated by everybody. I'm going to, still be aware that a lot of people want to see me fail. But again, I think I pay attention more to the way that I'm celebrated from people that love me unconditionally, and I go home and I have a peace of mind. And thinking about my time in Boston, I could go down a myriad of things that none of you in here know that I was dealing with. I don't think a lot of people would care. I think a few people would care and want to hear about it, and I would leave that space open in the future if you ever wanted to hear about it. But putting in perspective, it's just the blow-up dolls, all the remarks that are getting said. That's basketball. When I leave out of here and I walk around Boston, I don't hear a lot of the things that I hear when I'm playing on the court. There's a lot of mutual respect. There's a lot of eye-to-eye communication that's built on just being human, and they appreciate the things I do off the floor as well. So there are a lot of Celtics fans out there that still love me too, surprising to everybody. But when I'm on the street walking around, which I do, it's a lot of love. I get a lot of embrace. I take pictures. My dad is here. He played at Boston University. So there has to be a respect there, because if anything happens to my family while I'm here, then it goes way beyond the game, And I don't forget things either. Somebody threw something at me here while I was here. I've heard it all. Nobody asked me how I felt after that and why it could be a little bit of a traumatic response when I'm back in this environment after somebody does something like that, So things have changed since then. I've been able to accept what I cannot change, but also change the way that I look at things to be more positive. So this is fun for me, man. This is healthy. I'm glad that I could be up on this stage speaking authentically and then also go home and be at peace.
So that's the most interesting thing to me is the amount of losses now he's racked up in a row and him not playing well against this team. And some of that could be the matchup, the longer defenders they throw at him. But it's hard to imagine with this many games in the bag since he's last won here that it's any coincidence, the atmosphere, the crowd, guys getting on him. I didn't see him interacting with any fans as infamously as he did in that Game 1 in the Brooklyn series, but there were some people saying that were in the crowd, that were around the court, that he was going back and forth with some fans, and he even said there in that answer that it's fun engaging with the fans. So that's why I asked him, do you tune them out or do you engage with them? And it seems like he engages with them, which could at the very least be a distraction, I guess.
Yeah, it's very possible. I think Mike Gorman was the one that said, he said, you know, that from his vantage point, I mean, we're sitting way up there. It's hard to see who on the sideline might be getting in his head. But yeah, Mike seemed to say that was a factor. The one thing that Kyrie hasn't done is say, like, being here is no different than playing anywhere else. There's no downside. It's clear that there's an element here that's psychological that is impacting him a little bit. You know, I don't think he said, like, I've played against the Celtics for many, many years. This is nothing new. I believe all that, but it's clear that there's a little extra edge, a little extra load on him when he's in this building.
All right, that's it for our practice edition here at TD Garden. Check us out talking about Jason Kidd, as well as Kristaps Porzingis, should he start next game on Celtics All Access. Go subscribe over there and check out all the player interviews today here at practice on CLNS Media. She's Noah Dalzell. I'm Bobby Mann. This has been a practice edition of the Garden Report. All right, taking a quick break to talk about Prize Picks. It's final season, championship season right here. NBA coming to a close. But you got the hockey playoffs, you got baseball going on throughout the summer, and Prize Picks is the best way to play daily fantasy. You just pick two guys, pick more or less on their projections, and you're off.
And it's contagious, right, Bobby? Sometimes you get it right, sometimes you get it wrong. But when you get it right and you get the streak going, that's when you can really come up big. So do not miss out if you haven't signed up already.
Your official daily fantasy sports partner. Use the code CLNS for 100% deposit match up to $100 at Prize Picks. That's prizepicks.com/CLNS. Hey, Bobby Manning here. If you made it this far, you probably enjoyed this video. So subscribe, turn on notifications, and check out our social media platforms at Celtics CLNS